All right, let's talk about something we use every single day but probably don't think about nearly enough. I'm talking about that little box with the blinking lights, the one that makes our entire digital world possible. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the router. Let's dive in.
Welcome to Super Courseva. Unlock the secrets of the internet and master computer networking. Let's dive in.
I mean, really think about it for a second. You hit send on an email here, and it shows up in a different country almost instantly. How? How does it navigate the absolute chaos of the internet to find that one specific destination out of billions? Well, that's the exact mystery we're going to solve. So here's how we're going to break this down. We'll start with what I call the island network. Then we'll meet the internet's post office. After that, things get wild with the two worlds of routers. We'll look at the internet's brain, or the global GPS. And finally, we'll follow your data's world tour. Okay, so to really get why routers are such a game changer, you first have to understand the problem they were built to solve. And it all begins with this idea of, well, being stuck on an island. See, every device in your house, your phone, your laptop, your TV, they're all part of what's called a local area network, or LAN. It's basically its own little private island. Everybody on the island can talk to each other, no problem. But they can't talk to anyone on any other island. They're totally isolated. Now, the device that lets everyone on that island talk to each other, that's called a switch. It's great for connecting computers inside one office, for instance. But that's its limit. A switch only understands local addresses. It has no clue that a whole world exists outside of its own little network. Right, so that's the big problem, isn't it? If your computer is on one island and the server you need to reach is on another island, thousands of miles away, how in the world do you bridge that gap? You're going to need something way smarter than a switch. And this is where our hero finally steps onto the scene. To connect these billions of separate network islands, we needed a totally new kind of device, one that could think beyond just the local neighborhood and see the entire globe. And this right here just nails the core difference. It's so simple, but so important. A switch connects devices inside one network. A router, on the other hand, connects entire networks to each other. It is the bridge that connects all the islands. And honestly, this mailroom analogy, it's pretty much perfect. The switch is just the internal mail clerk, shuffling memos from desk to desk inside your office. But the router? The router is the post office truck. It picks up a package, leaves your building, and figures out how to get it to a completely different building, maybe even one on the other side of the planet. Okay, but here's where things get really interesting. There's a huge twist, because the router you have in your home is not at all the same kind of router that actually runs the internet. I mean, it's not even close. The difference in scale is just mind-boggling. Let's just look at this comparison for a second. Your home router, it has one super simple job. Take all the data from your island and just hand it off to your internet service provider. That's it. But a core ISP router? Whoa, that's a whole different beast. It's handling millions of connections at the exact same time. It knows hundreds of possible ways your data could travel around the world. And in a fraction of a second, it decides whether it's faster to shoot your data through an undersea cable or bounce it somewhere else. Yeah, millions. Just let that sink in for a second. A single one of these core routers is juggling millions of connections, making these incredibly complex decisions for every single one of them every single second. The scale is just, wow. So, how do they do it? How do all these super powerful routers coordinate with each other? How does a router in New York know what the traffic is like near Tokyo? Well, it turns out they have a kind of secret language, a protocol that lets them all act like one giant global brain. And that language has a name, BGP, which stands for Border Gateway Protocol. You can just think of it as the official rulebook for how the internet talks to itself. It's the set of commands all these core routers use to share critical information and work together. And this is probably the single best way to think about it. BGP is literally like Waze or Google Maps for the entire internet. It doesn't just show the roads. It shows you where the traffic jams are, where the accidents are, and what the fastest route is right now. So here's how it actually works. These routers are constantly talking, sharing updates. Say you're in London trying to load a website from Sydney. The shortest path might be an undersea cable, right? But what BGP does is it lets the router in London know that, hey, a ship's anchor just damaged that cable. So instantly, it finds the next best route, maybe sending your data through North America and across the Pacific instead. It's a living, breathing network that finds the most optimal path in real time. It's amazing. All right, let's put all the pieces together.
Let's actually follow a single piece of your data as it goes on this incredible lightning-fast world tour, all thanks to this system.
Every single time you load one web page, just one, your data doesn't take a single direct flight. No way. It gets handed off from router to router, making a dozen or even more jumps across cities, countries, and oceans. And every single one of those jumps is a new decision made by a router using BGP to find the next best step. It's a global relay race happening in the blink of an eye.
So, the next time you click a link, just for a second, think about that invisible journey your request is about to take. It's all made possible by this massive, intelligent network of routers, all working in concert like a global postal service to bring the world to your screen. It's truly one of the hidden marvels of our time, and now you know exactly how it works.